You may remain seated, but I would ask you to take out your bulletin and take out the gospel reading section. Okay, so the insert. Now you've got that, and you've got the back page, and I know you have a pen, so you're ready to write something down. I'm an optimist. Our message today is based on the gospel text, and the reason I ask you to take it out is because I want to have you circle one section in it. Okay? And so as we read, we begin with the first where it says, Jesus said, "You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, do not resist the one who is evil. But if anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if anyone would sue you and take your tunic, let him have your cloak as well. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with him 2 miles. Give to the one who begs from you, and do not refuse the one who would borrow from you. You have heard it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." This is the proportion that you are to circle, the next 2 words. So that. Very important words there. So that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. For he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet only your brothers, what more are you doing than others? Do not even the Gentiles do the same? You therefore must be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. Here is the text. Grace, mercy, and especially God's peace to you this day as we examine God's Word. And I entitled this sermon, Let's Be Truly Childish. Now it's interesting because, we use childishness as a pejorative, as to say something bad about something. Oh, don't be childish. But it's interesting because the Scriptures give us a little bit different definition of that. They give us a little bit of a different look at that. And so as we begin, I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite childhood memory? You can write it down there. Whether it was going to Grandma or Grandpa's house, whether it was the smell of cookies, whether it was Saturday morning cartoons, which I don't even think they have any good ones anymore. But your favorite memory of childhood. It could be trips with your family. It could be all sorts of things. When we were children, we had a trust that I don't think we all have right now. When we were back in Michigan and we had a shirt business, we did all the shirts for the competitive cheer team. The competitive cheer team, these are about 12 young ladies who went out there and they cheered and they did all sorts of gymnastic and aerobatic routines. And they always had the littlest one was called the flyer. And they call them the flyer because they're the ones they throw up in the air and they fly. And I said, that's truly a sport. Because they throw that girl in the air and they had 3 or 4 of her friends underneath who were going to catch her. I don't know if I would trust 3 or 4 of my friends to catch me if they threw me. They call that a trust fall, and the important word for that for me is fall, where it should be trust. But think of it when we're a child, the things we trusted and the things we did without any hesitation. Perhaps it was you learned to swim and you had to jump into the arms of your father as he stood in the pond or in the pool and waited and said, "Come on, jump." And we jumped because we trusted. We trusted that our Father would catch us. Or maybe when they took the training wheels off your bike and they ran along behind you and you trusted that they would keep holding on. Might have been the first moment our trust was broken. But we knew we could ride on 2 wheels because somebody was holding it for us. We had a trust. Jesus in our text today says, behave this way so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. So that we may be children of God. And we think of the other scriptures where Jesus talks about how important it is to be childish, if you will, to be like a child. Unless a person has a faith like this child, they shall not inherit the kingdom of God. And as we grow up, we experience some trust that fails. We begin to look and say, I'm not going to jump into that water because it's cold. I don't know if you'll save me. I don't know if you're that good of a swimmer. We begin to doubt. And that doubt is not faith. That doubt is not trust. It is distrust. And it is lack of faith. But when we think of what are some childish behaviors, that's what we're talking about. I'm not talking about the bad behavior that we tend to say, oh, that's childish. Children are just actually more honest than we are as adults. Okay? When they're hungry, they cry. When we're hungry, we kind of get grumpy. You know, why are you grumpy? Oh, I'm okay. They have a whole commercial, Snickers commercial, about when you're not you when you're hungry. You give somebody a Snickers bar. It's not, trust me, Snickers bars are not the greatest thing to solve hunger on earth. But it's a good commercial because it recognizes that there are times when we don't behave like we should. In this text, Jesus is talking to a bunch of Jews, and the Jews are, you have to remember, a subjugated people. They are under the Roman rule, and they don't get a fair shake in the court system. A lot in our country today feel that way. They don't feel that they have a fair voice in the court system. They don't feel that things go well, and there are people can put impositions on them. A Roman could say to any citizen, any Jew, any subjugated citizen, here, carry my bag for me. And they had to carry it a set number of steps, as it says, a mile here, but to carry it. And as soon as somebody was given a bag, if you were of that mind, you would start counting. I got to carry it 1,000 steps, 999, 1,000. Drop it and run. I'm going to show you you're not in charge of me. And Jesus says instead, no, carry it another 1,000. Carry it another 1,000 and make them wonder, why is it? Why is it that they're willing to do this for me who has commanded them to do something? What is it that motivates them? You see, when we bless those who curse us, when we turn the other cheek, we are showing that we are the children of God in the same way as Jesus behaved. Jesus, who was spit upon, who was reviled, but who trusted in God and said, guess what? I still love you. So it says, let's examine how God defines childishness, and we did that. What does Jesus say about childishness? It's about how we show that we are sons or children of God. We show our childishness by living in faith, by living in trust, even when the world may say that's foolish, even when the world may say, boy, you are naive. You see, we live that way because we know to whom we belong. We live that way because we know how Christ gave us an example. A perfect suffering servant who gave his life in exchange for ours. Who went upon the cross not for his own benefit, but for the benefit of each one of us. And he invites us to say, come and do likewise. And he says, guess what? If you want to be perfect, if you don't want to live this way, that's fine. Then be holy. That's what it says in the Old Testament text. What it says here. Then be holy. If you think you can do it on your own, if you don't think you need to be a child of God, if you think you're going to earn your own way into salvation, then be perfect. But guess what? You're already not. And you can't make something perfect after it's been broken. Oh, you can restore it, you can make it look just as nice, just as good as new, but it's still not new. I wish somebody had impressed upon me, and I tried to impress it upon my kids, and I don't think I did a good job either, as was the fact that every grade you get starting in the 9th grade earns you money. If you want to earn, how much is school worth to you? Is it worth $10,000, $20,000 a year to go to high school? Well, yeah, I'd go to high school for $10,000 or $20,000 a year. Well, then just get good grades. And they'll give you a scholarship for the 4 years after that will be for that amount. It worked they all did well, but it worked better for some than others. And the question then becomes, to be truly childish is to love as God loves. To love with a love that is almost blind. To love with a love that loves those who don't love us. Who loves those who would hurt us, who loves those who persecute us, and who loves those who really don't understand us. If God just expected us to be perfect, we would need to be perfect. But if we want to be perfect, then we have to pretend to be grown-ups, because we don't, we set a lot of things aside. As grown-ups, we pretend things are better. But there is a difference. There is a difference in this message in childishness between spoiled behavior and childish behavior. Now, a spoiled behavior is the one who says, I'm going to do only what I have to do and no more, and you can't make me. That's what Jesus was addressing to the Jews of those days. He was saying, boy, if you get hit back. I was not raised in a Christian home, and the rule in my home was that I had better not throw the first punch, but I better throw the last one. I wasn't expected to start any fight, but I was expected to win any fight I was invited to. Nothing Christian about that. That's a spoiled behavior. A childish behavior loves even when they've been hurt. Offers another opportunity to Billy and Freddie. I think it was Freddie the Frog, wasn't it? And Billy the Bear. Offers a chance for restoration, for friendship, even when one has wronged the other. Because we understand this, as we try to apply this, we go, okay, God, what model should I use for this? And you go, well, he goes, the model that I've given you. You haven't always loved me with your whole heart, but I still love you. You haven't always honored me, as the Old Testament reading went through a lot of the commandments. You haven't always honored me with all your words, with all your deeds, but I have always loved you. I have always honored you. That's what God says to us. And so when it comes to the end of how do we release our inner child, it's simply to love as God loves. To love with an abandon, to love with an expectation. And to love not afraid that we are going to be hurt, because there are times when we will be. But to love with the love that gives of ourselves. To love with the love that doesn't expect returns, but to love with the love that gives it away. And so the way we release our inner child is by drawing nearer to God, by putting our trust and our hope more and more into Him each day. By reading His Word, by praying to Him, by understanding who God is. Because when we understand who God is, we understand who we are and how much He has to love us. And then He says, go and love others as I have loved you. And that's hard at times. It's godlike to do it. Because it's so difficult to understand what it is to show love to those who don't love us. I love the scripture where it says God is love. That's really the only attribute of God that we can share. You know, we will never be omnipotent. We won't have the all-powerful. We will never be omniscient. We won't know everything. We can never be omnipresent. We can't be everywhere. But the aspect of God that we can share is His love. That we can know the love of God and we can share that love. And by doing so, we can bear the love of God forth. And we can be His light in the world, that others might look at us and say, I want what they have. 1 Peter 3:15 says, always be ready to give reason for the hope that lies within you, but do it with gentleness and respect. The people have to see that hope in you. They have to see that love in you. To see when you go through trials and you still don't get all grumpy and frumpy, and instead you say, God bless them. And they go, how on earth can you deal with that? And they say, oh, because I have a Father in heaven who loves me even when I'm not lovable. And He calls me to love others when they're not lovable as well. So as we go forth this day, let us be childlike. Childlike in our faith, childlike in our trust in God. Let us leap when He calls us to leap. Let us pedal when He says, don't worry. I'll hold on. And let us go forth proclaiming His name, glorious and rejoicing in the love He has shared with us. For truly, we can share His love with others, and in doing so, be His ambassadors and reflect His glory. May God be with you this day and each day. Amen. Let us rise as we conclude with the singing.